everyone, and welcome back to Amity Bloom. Today's video is extremely special because it starts the first journal from a three-part journal series that I created. They all have to do with a particular concept, and this journal that I have in front of me is called To See. I created these journals when I was going through a very difficult time, so they healed me through the art journaling process. I basically put everything in here that I loved. I loved the process, which I think shows in the end result. They are beautiful journals that have a beautiful meaning to them, and I hope that these journals also give you some inspiration. They help you with your healing. They give you the love, the light, the peace that you need during this time or whenever you'd like to use it. They're just really precious little treasures, and I hope that you guys fall in love with them and you see the love that was put into them. So this one is called To See. Now, I went a little crazy. I started working on these journals, I think 3 to 4 months ago, and being at home gave me the time to completely finish them and also go through my treasures, my fabric treasures and my papers, and put together kind of like a provision journal pack so that you have everything that you need to start in your journal. And I also am thinking, let me know what you guys think, but I created these little wooden tags that say uniquely handmade, limited edition. Since I don't make that many journals, they are limited edition every time. So I thought it would be really sweet to wrap washi tape around here that matches with the color palette of the journal. So let me know what you guys think below. I think I might add that as a little extra touch so that you literally have everything you need except for like glue and a pen that you need to start journaling in here. You get a special set of papers to someone special. These include vintage papers, music paper, handmade, antique, French, ledger, and even a little tea bag that you can use for mixed media. This paper pack comes with each and every journal. Each pack is pretty much the same for every journal. They do have a couple differences here and there, but that's what makes them really special and unique. Every journal comes with its own fabric provision. That includes a beautiful little spool of fabric, as well as a trim card with various fabrics, laces, antique pieces, antique fabric, all in the color palette that matches your journal. And for your fabric spool, you actually get 2 different types of fabrics that coordinate and go together. This one has a beautiful floral meadow and then a teal linen at the bottom. You have to unravel it so that you can see the fabric at the bottom, but they all match with the coordinating floral fabric on the top. Here's the paper ephemera in the pockets of happiness for the journal to see. They have a fabric closure, and you get special little pieces inside. One of my paper clipboards with fabric on top. I love putting pictures on these. They act kind of like picture frames. Antique envelope. One of my pockets of happiness. You have a journaling card that I designed. One of my collage tags. I've also created some sentiment cards where you can journal and you have a lovely sentiment to inspire your journaling. This is perfect for secretive journaling, and I love the stitching and the beautiful papers and colors. Every journal comes with a color palette swatch card where you get the colors of the color palette that was used to create the journal. And I also made some beautiful button cards with some vintage and antique buttons, and I had so much fun embroidering a little garden at the bottom. Depending on where you live, the flowers are probably blooming, and I hope that if the flowers aren't blooming near you, this little card will lift up your spirits. Mother of pearl buttons. This is just so cute. Something that I tried to mimic or replicate as best as I could, traditional ephemera. And I just imagined someone receiving this in the mail and just being so happy and delighted. I had a lot of fun playing around with that little card. And now this is the journal To See. I use the techniques that I teach for my Artist in Bloom course. It's very similar to my Artist in Bloom journals, but I just switched it up a little bit. Here is the back with its little happy patch. I'm going to put my signature here in the back as well. I love the colors on the side. mints, teals, and blues, French papers, and antique lace. The textiles remind me of a little cloud, like floating in the sky. You can remove the fabric closure if you wanted to. I always like to make my closures optional, since I'm not the biggest fan of them, so I like to add them temporarily and then you can take them off if you want to. But this is the beautiful cover. Opens up just like this. Lots of room for journaling. This journal is called To See, and so throughout the book you will be seeing sentiments and cards that I created with phrases to inspire you to see your life for what it is, to see yourself for the beautiful person that you are. Sometimes we just need those words of encouragement to remind us. Be in love with the person you see in the mirror who has been through so much but is still standing beautifully. You can add that to your pages, tip it in. I like to include these little cards as words of encouragement for when you're going through and journaling in your book. Some beautiful fabric. This is my favorite fabric for ruffles at the moment. This one and another periwinkle one, which is peeking out right there. It's so elegant. Some antique wallpaper, French ephemera, a little snippet of lace as a little sample. And I loved this little scallop paper piece. It has a lovely floral on it. And I wanted to give you a little pop of color, just to keep it fun. You can always, I like creating a vintage look, but always including modern pieces if I can. Here in this pocket, here is the special tag for the journal. It's called To See, which is the name of this journal. There is a pocket in the back so that you can write what you see in yourself and tuck it into the journal so that it can help you when you're going through and journaling in your book. Lots of space for journaling. I wanted to play around. You can see I did some stamping, some stitching. Here in the middle pocket, you have pockets down here at the bottom, some music paper, a collage tag. Here is one of my floating pockets and another journaling card that I made. Here's a sample of fabric as a flip. Some beautiful papers. This one is so stunning. This fabric I absolutely loved. We gave this fabric, I think, in the Christmas provision bundles or boxes. I love it. This one looks like little mushrooms, but it's not. It's actually little florals. So I needed to include a little piece just as a little pick-me-up of color. Oops! My things are starting to fall. In the pocket, you have a floating pocket, a journaling card that I made, some more journaling cards for spaces for writing, some vintage ephemera, or I should say antique, and some of the tags that you saw in the journal diaries. Some of my quirky little tags. This one says, "A raised pattern are other ways I like to add all the great things." I find that by doing and adding little pieces like this makes the journal a lot of fun to make. It's like a little game. Here is a little fabric sample, and then some of my collages that I've been making. The colors are so beautiful. Some fabric. And then the second signature, some beautiful papers. This is actually a digital that I will be offering in my shop very soon, that you can print it on whatever kind of paper that you'd like. And in the pocket you have a wallpaper tag. I loved how the purple matches really well with the periwinkle color. This says, "Butterflies can't see their wings. They can't see how truly beautiful they are. But everyone else can. People are like that as well." I loved that quote so much. I actually have that framed in my room. I'm a sucker for butterfly quotes. Here's a little sample of washi tape. Oh, this one is so much fun. Another wallpaper tag. This is some gorgeous wallpaper that will be in paper packs in a few months if we can get those finished. A floating pocket made out of that beautiful book paper, and one of my tiny collage tags. So cute. And that's just clipped on that paper clip. Hey, I'm matching with my charms. My little bracelet matches the charms in the journal. On the back, another collage that I made, and I wrote, "See the truth." We all need to see the truth in ourselves. This is some really old French lace. I love this. I bought this from the Scott's Antique Market here in Atlanta. Unfortunately, they closed the market for probably in the next 3 months, maybe 4, which is very sad, but I am so looking forward to the day when I can go back out to the markets, the flea markets, and purchase my beautiful treasures. This one says, "Art and love are the same thing. It's the process of seeing yourself in things that are not you." I love that one too. Some French ephemera, a tag for journaling. I left some tags blank so that you can develop your own artistic capabilities in your journal. You just need to be open to journaling, and oh my gosh, this spread, oh, it melts my heart. I just imagine myself in this little meadow and then my little bunny. These remind me of bunny ears, the little tags. They're so cute. So in this pocket, of course, is a postcard. I had to trim it down just a little bit so that it would fit. But it says, "To wish you a joyous Easter." It's an Easter postcard, and on the back you have some lovely script. But this image is just so wonderful. And then I think it goes really well with the ephemera in your other pocket. This is some journaling paper that I have stamped. And this is a vellum pocket that will house your little bunny tag. This one says, "Makes a vast difference as to whether tomorrow will be better." So it's kind of like a remnant of a sentence, and I really like that because you can use these for journaling to help you as journaling prompts. Kind of like Mad Libs where you can continue the sentence. It's just a fun little way to add little games within your journal. We are almost finished. Oh, this page also melts my heart. This is some gorgeous antique lace, some script, and then in this pocket I have an antique letter. Oh, this is kind of cool. What does it say? "Money left over, 33.45. I think that's really neat when you can look at antique ephemera and read it, and it's actually legible, readable. Sometimes the scripts that they used or the way that their penmanship was sometimes makes it difficult to read, but I like when it's visible like that. And then here's a beautiful tag. I think this is going to be my new favorite way of creating tags. I love that. That whole page combination makes me really happy. Lots of texture going on. Since I journal as well, for me it's really important to have blank pages to work in. In this music pocket, I have another collage that I made with some wallpaper, some fabric with that little mushroom fabric that's not mushroom, it's florals, but it looks like it. And that just goes into the pocket. That's the back. This is some beautiful paper, some French script up here. Oh my gosh, this page is also one of my favorites just because of the colors, like the colors of the beads, the little moonstone crystal, the fabric here at the bottom, and then the collage tag, and there's a floating pocket. And then underneath the ephemera, it's a pocket. So it's a nice deep pocket for you to put your ephemera pieces in. And then on the back of the journal, there is some antique wallpaper, a little sample. This is a really beautiful image of a fireplace, the fireplace of my dreams. It's not my fireplace, it's a picture that I found. But the background color is the sage green. So I thought it went really well with the theme of the journal, with the color palette, and then that's some French ephemera. And this is my favorite little sentiment card. It says, "A little hope, but with a twist." I think I shared this in the Journal Diaries video, so you saw how that came together. And all of the ephemera in the back is blank so that you can journal on these little pieces. This one, of course, is collaged, so you can do some journaling on the back. It's not completely perfect, but I think those little imperfections make it a lot more fun. So here's your little bundle of happiness. Here's the fabric and trim card. You can see the number at the bottom a lot better. I was able to find some blue antique tatted lace, and I knew I needed to share it in this journal. This is the little spool of fabric. This is adorable. I wanted to give you a little pop of color, so all of the journals, their spool of fabric is a little bit more on the brighter side, and I want to give you contrasting colors. Look at this floral, you guys. Oh my goodness! Just look at this floral. And the idea with these fabric spools is you can use them in your journal to create text spots. You glue it onto your pages as a pop of color to pretty much do whatever you'd like with it. Here is the button card with the florals embroidered on the bottom. And then this is the color palette. Now, of course, if I take the little spool out, the color palette makes a lot more sense. But I really like these little color palette cards. I think they add a little bit more of like an artisanal feel to the provisions. When you recover or discover something that nourishes your soul and brings joy, care enough about yourself to make room for it in your life. So this journal is about acceptance, accepting yourself for who you are, accepting what makes you happy, what brings you joy. I love this little trio here. This is a floating pocket in the back made out of music paper, some antique ephemera, and a tag that I made. And then here's your tag that says "To accept," and of course the pocket in the back so that you can journal what you accept about yourself or what you need to start accepting. I also gave you a sample of some of my favorite paper. This is some beautiful handmade paper. This actually acts as a little text spot. This is some of my paper from my Petal Parcels digital. So it acts as a cute little text spot. And I think it's the same on the back as well. Some lovely little lace. This is gorgeous. A wallpaper tag. Here is an antique postcard. I really enjoyed what they put on the postcard. It says, "My wish, may each and every day of the coming year find you happy and strong and brave, able to do all things and to be all things." I love this. And what I really enjoyed is that the blue matches with the blue and the red matches with the red. It's very clever what they did there. Very clever what they did. So that's a nice little reminder. And I thought the colors went really well with the journal. And then here, another floating pocket. Here's a sample of fabric. I think we shared this in our Christmas provision bundles, but this is the fabric that I used to make the spine, and then an antique letter. And I think I want to start doing that with the journals that I create and the fabrics that I use. Whatever I have left over, I want to include as like sample pieces in your book so that you can actually feel and see the fabric that was used to create your book. I just think it's nice to see the materials that were used. The same little snippet of fabric. Ooh, this pocket. Oh, this pocket's so beautiful. This pocket is stunning. So in here is a floating pocket, another one of my bunny tags, and this one says, "Takes you a long way, because I like the cool patina it eliminates. And then this is just a cute little image that I thought went really well in the book to give it color. This is the fabric that I was talking about. That comes in your spool. It's this one right here. But you can't see the full flower because of how it's folded. But this is the fabric, and I created a fabric pocket, gave you a nice tag for journaling, some antique linens. Ooh, this pocket's so colorful. A journal card, another little card that I made. This is some antique ephemera. What I like to do is cut this to use as collage pieces throughout the journal, and then in the pieces that have no writing on them, glue them on top of like a music page or a book page to do journaling. That's how I like to use antique pieces. And then this is a tag that I collaged, really pretty fabric, and of course in the back you have more journaling space. And then on the back I have some antique ephemera, more cards, more fabric, and then in the second signature some antique ephemera. This is beautiful French ephemera in that lovely blue color that I love, and a cute little tag. I love these. They're so adorable. They remind me of coffee stirs. It would be cute to receive that tag with your coffee. Look at that script. Some French fabric. Another collage that I made, paper clipped. In the pocket, some antique wallpaper, some journal papers, my favorite little tag, and I think it goes really well with that beautiful blue ruffle. Here you can add the date or add a picture. That's the printable that I'm going to be sharing very soon. I love that ruffle, that deep blue. Some more textured pages. Here in this pocket I have a collage that I made, and I wrote "Accept who you are," and then here's another wallpaper tag, double pockets on the bottom. I love this ruffle. Such pretty ruffles and papers and fabrics. I had probably the most fun I had creating in a while making these journals. From creating like custom printables to go in here, to finding some really cool ways of creating ephemera using book pages. Here's another little floating pocket with my mini tags and some stitching. Another collage, the rice paper, and that is the entire journal. So those were the pages for the journal to accept. And now for the pink journal to love. This is the paper bundle of happiness, very similar to what you have been seeing. And then the custom ephemera is this beautiful tag with some really old lace up at the top. For your fabric trim card, this is the pink fabrics and textiles that you receive. Some beautiful lace, a linen, some silks, some pink cottons, and a lovely floral. Really stunning. Reminds me of cherry blossoms. And then this is your spool of fabric. And then this is the beautiful floral pattern for your fabric spool. This is so cute. It reminds me of this little dress that I had for a doll when I was little. A fun fact, when I was little I actually didn't like floral dresses. Can you believe that? I was more of like a tomboy, which is hard to believe, I know, but I saved my florals for my dolls and for my like creative play, which says a lot about me because I actually don't wear that many florals. I tend to wear mainly like earth tones. So these are your fabric provisions for the pink journal. Here's your embroidered button card and the color palette for the journal to love. And this is the journal to love. Probably the prettiest pink journal that I think I've ever made. The journals measure about 4.5 by 6.5, but there's lots of spaces for journaling. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. This is a quote by Buddha, the master himself. So since the concept of this journal is to love yourself first, before you love anything else or anyone else, here on this paper clip, a pocket, a little lace sample, a tag that I made. I love that little paper clip. Here are just some scraps of paper that I thought looked really cute with the journal. Here's your tag to love in a floating pocket. I really love this paper. For the fabric, here is a full lace page. I love that lace. That's the lace that I actually used to create the button cards. This ruffle, look at this. I think we also gave this fabric in the Christmas provision boxes last year. Another little tag, a floating pocket with some fabric and some French ephemera to give a nice little pop of color. Here in the middle, some washi. I like to collage washi onto my pages, especially on top of antique papers. If you have the right washi, it looks beautiful. This lovely little image and some more journaling papers, a collage that I made. Here's a fabric flip for secretive journaling. So if you look, it says copyright Peter Pan Fabrics. I'm not sure if that was the company or like the supplier, but I love that. I think it gave it a nice little quirky character and added a little bit more magic to the pages. I just think that is so cute, so you get a nice little cute character in this journal. If you love Peter Pan and your favorite color is pink, maybe this is the journal for you. Here another little cluster of ephemera, collages. This is a floating pocket, another little tag, some washi. This is some antique wallpaper on a tag, a sample of some antique wallpaper. I love journaling on top of wallpaper, and then a French label. So many layers, not only throughout the construction of the journal, but also with the ephemera. Another journal card, antique letters. You'll see the same thing spread throughout in different ways. Antique ephemera, journaling cards, wallpaper tags. This one, the little periwinkle purple, matches so well with the ruffle. I still have some of this fabric, so I'm going to continue to use it. I love the color so much. Some more textiles on some really old music paper. And in here is just some journaling paper, a sample of some fabric to go with the pink theme, one of my bunny tags, the sentiment that I made for this one, Engalipta wallpaper, I hope I said that right, an embossed paper with hope for tomorrow. So that's the quirky sentiment that I chose. More texture, some more of that Japanese paper. I adore this ruffle. It's just so light and airy, like cotton candy if it was a ruffle. I actually gave you guys a little sample of this in your trim card because it's so elegant. It's just so beautiful. Ruffles, when you get nice and fluffy ruffles, it's like whipped cream. You can't get enough of it. Here in the center, an antique postcard, and I love how it looks with the tab. And then in this pocket, some journaling paper and another collage that I made. And I wrote on here, love yourself. And of course, you don't have to use this journal for self-growth or self-healing. You can use it as an everyday journal, or if you want to document something in particular. I would love to use this journal to document like a trip to France or something like that. I am planning on taking a trip to France, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next coming year. And you know I'm going to go crazy when it comes to the ephemera. My mom absolutely loved this ruffle. This is really old linen, and I liked how you can see the eyelet work. It's really lovely, this little ruffle. Very, very old, but it adds character. And then in your pocket, some antique wallpaper, another little collage that I wrote freedom to love, and then a blank tag so that you can collage on there whatever you would like to. I like including my collage tags in little pieces as inspiration so that when you use those blank tags, you kind of get a feel for how you can lay your papers. It's kind of like a puzzle. You're creating a paper puzzle. And so here on this tag, some fabric and some lace, some more journaling papers. Here is another little tag, another script. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. And some more antique ephemera. It has that pink line, which is why it's in the pink journal. So here are all 3 of the journals to love, to accept, and to see. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing all of these journals, their characteristics. All of the journals come with their paper and fabric provisions. I hope this video gave you inspiration and made you really happy. And if your heart is set on one of these journals and they spoke to you, they will be available in my shop this Wednesday, I think around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will leave the definite time in the comment section and in the description box. And they will also be up for sale at the same time that other fabric and paper provisions will be in the shop. And of course I'll be sharing those fabrics in tomorrow's video, so you get a little sneak peek to everything that's going to be in the shop. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the first release of journals for 2020. I really hope that you guys love these. They were a labor of love and they hold magic within the pages for myself. They were a wonderful journey to create, and I hope that whoever chooses one of these journals, you can feel that love and see the magic through the pages. And of course, until next time, thank you for giving me your time, for letting me share my creations with you all. And I hope you're having a wonderful day full of peace and love. Bye-bye, and talk to you soon.